In this video, we'll connect the peak probe to our LV to LV DC-DC converter, establish CAN communication, and set up the first parameters. You'll also get an overview of the different capabilities and features right at your fingertips. Let's get started. For this tutorial, we'll use our BBMP with a single output in the Air Force-cooled configuration. The same steps apply to all our BBMP models, including our liquid-cooled versions and the dual output configurations. Before you start your first power conversion, the converter needs to be configured. To do this, connect the converter to a power source and use the peak probe to link it with the CAN loader on your computer. Now let's connect the signal connector. In this setup, it provides both the CAN signals and the power supply to the converter. Use this diagram as a guide to connect the peak probe to the converter. When connecting the product for the first time, we recommend using a supply voltage below 20 volts. This helps prevent any damage to the converter. Once everything is properly connected, launch the CAN loader application on your computer. The CAN loader, along with the DBC file and the CAN dictionary, are provided with the unit. By default, the product bit rate is set at 1 megabit, and the address range at 0x780. On the Loader tab, once the CAN loader has detected your peak probe, you will see the green message, Peak Probe operating at the bottom left. Then turn on the power supply for the converter. The CAN loader will automatically detect the product and communication can begin. On the main tab, you can now see information related to your product, including its configuration and the software version currently installed. To configure your product, go to the Settings tab. Here you can adjust basic parameters such as the overvoltage protection threshold, the voltage range, and the current limit on each side of the converter. Let's first configure side A. First, set the overvoltage threshold. This disables the other settings in sequence. The OVP threshold is the value at which the converter will trigger an error if the measured voltage goes higher. Then, set the Vmax value. Vmax is the maximum voltage allowed in the setpoint message range. If the setpoint value is higher than Vmax, the converter will reject it and output the Vmax value. V-default is the initial value set at the beginning of the conversion if you don't send a new setpoint value. The Vmin is the minimum voltage allowed in the setpoint message range. If the setpoint value is lower than Vmin, the converter will reject it and output the Vmin value. So, Vmax and Vmin define the acceptable range of values for the setpoint message. If the output voltage drops below the overload threshold value, the converter will increment the overload count message. This value helps you determine whether your output current limit is too low or if your loads are demanding more current than expected. I-limit is the default current limit if you don't send a new one. The line resistance is used as an offset value to compensate for voltage drops caused by long cables. The bitrate parameter lets you adjust the CAN communication speed. You can choose any value from 1 megabit per second down to 125 kilobits per second. In the application menu, you can configure different settings. First, you can select the application CAN address. It can be set anywhere between 0x100 and 0x780. Next, you can adjust the message sending period as well as the status message period. The default and also the minimum is 10 milliseconds. You can also manage CAN error detection. If you disable it, the converter will not trigger a CAN error when it does not receive messages. You may also choose to change the CAN timeout period instead. The sleep mode can be disabled if you do not want the converter to enter sleep. You can also change how quickly or slowly it goes into sleep mode. Shutdown timing can be adjusted as well, but the minimum allowed value is 25 milliseconds. Finally, you can set the bootloader CAN address. It must also be between 0x100 and 0x780, but it must not be the same as the application address. You can also allow the converter to work in CAN-less mode and choose whether the power is controlled from side A or side B. Finally, on dual output models, you can enable umbilical mode. In the Advanced Settings tab, you can modify the reverse current allowed. For more information, please refer to the user manual provided. The user manual, along with all necessary documents and files, can be found either on the USB drive included with the unit or on our online portal. If you are unsure about any of these settings, don't hesitate to contact us. Once you've set all your parameters, the final step is to flash the converter. If the flash is successful, you'll see your parameters displayed on the main page. You are now ready to start power conversion. For more details on this critical step, please check the video linked here.